The following program contains names, places, and events that have been anonymized or fictionalized for the purposes of protection and safety. The following program is provided for entertainment purposes only, and any commentary from the hosts are strictly conjecture and should not be held as making any definitive statements about the truth or identity of any particular individuals or circumstances. If you or a loved one are involved in an abusive relationship, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 for support.
Happy Monday. Happy Dating Detectives Monday. Why do I always go to a British accent?
Because you're trying to seduce me.
Hashtag Spice Girls. I'm sorry, I can't.
I love the Brits.
And then I try to get my son to do it. I'm like, Ryan, talking British with me. And he's like, no, please go away.
He's like, Mom, that's so Ohio.
Skibbity Riz toilet, whatever they're saying.
We were just talking about all the slang.
I don't understand any of it, but
he's
fine.
Bilingual, though, which is really impressive for such a youth.
He is.
It's a whole other language. Hi, guys. It's a Mackenzie Undercover day, which I think we need.
Yeah, we need. So I know that people get like legit upset when I tell these stories on my social and then I come here and tell them because they're like, that's not fair. And I get it. So, but there is a story that I did just post on my social media, but it's kind of a two-parter. And the first, I was there to tell one story about my actual surveillance, but then there's like another part that has nothing to do with my surveillance that kind of goes into like a whole nother situation that I thought would be really fun to share on the podcast.
And did you not share it on Instagram is what you're saying?
Not in detail.
See, and that's the other thing. It's like, I love the videos. They're so fun and like snappy and you're hilarious, but there are so many details and questions and theories. So we're just expanding and discussing and learning.
Try to tell them, but nobody listens.
It's fine. If they don't, everybody, as long as they're happy.
You can't please everybody. Also, I want to say our Patreon is blowing up like every single day. We are so grateful for everyone joining our Patreon. If you want to join us on the Patreon, it's $5 a month. You get 2 bonus episodes and you get all the good updates and early access to merch and stuff. But our Patreon is just growing. And so we're so grateful for our little Patreon community. So thank you.
Many thanks.
If you want to join our Patreon, the link to join is in the show notes.
Also, you should make sure you're following us on Instagram. The last episode we did, Carrie, I'm sure many of you listened to it. We are able to help support her in raising some money for finding a local PI for her ongoing case. And we're posting that stuff, like, yes, in the show notes of the episode, but like definitely on Patreon and on social media. So if you want updates as we can give them to you, make sure you're following us wherever you can.
Her story is just insane.
It's wild.
You guys have to go listen. If you haven't listened to Carrie's
The Stalker, it's called.
The Stalker. If you haven't listened to Carrie's episode, go back to the week before last and last week because it was a 2-parter.
And also, since we posted that fundraiser, you have raised almost $1,000 for her. Which is
incredible. Like this is the pure definition of this sense of community. Like you do not know how your little donation or what you might consider a little donation can be something huge for her. So thank you for supporting her. I just think that's so cool that everybody's kind of coming together.
I don't know how he's not in jail.
I'm so whatever. I'm beyond. That's why we need a Mackenzie Undercover episode because it's so much like.
Yeah, we need to like giggle and gag together. I almost said gag. I don't want to gag.
Don't say gag.
I want to be gagged by your story.
Hannah said she wants to be gagged.
Wait, guys, I just looked at it and it had a certain amount and then I just refreshed it. It had $100 more. Somebody donated in this moment.
Oh my God, that's so
cool. Thank you. And I was just going to say that we are always looking for ways that we can support our guests behind the scenes or with you. This is an ongoing case that she's dealing with, which is kind of the first time we've had a guest doing that, which is why we were able to like make sure the money's going directly to her finding a PI and that stuff. But if you're wondering like, oh, I would love to like support more in the future for past guests, like we're trying to figure out ways to do that more, but this is just the first step. So just know that.
And you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for showing your support and, coming together for her. So let's get into Mackenzie Undercover.
Whew. Okay, deep breaths. Let's do it.
So I have told this story on my social media, but not the part that everybody was like, wait, so what happened with that part? And I was like, that's not the story I was telling. So the beginning of the story will sound familiar, and then I'm going to tell you what happens in the end with the latter part of the story. So Hannah hasn't heard it, so I'm going to give you like just a breakdown from the beginning. So this is how it all started, okay?
Okay.
So I'm doing surveillance, which is like a normal, let's just call it a liability case. So a liability case means that someone got injured, whether it be like a workers' comp or a car accident, a slip and fall inside of a store. They've gotten injured and they're suing somebody because of it, right? And they're saying, I want to sue you because I need $1 billion because I'm really hurt, whatever. And so what happens is the insurance company and their attorneys, they want to save the company money, right? So they say, let's do surveillance on this person because if this person wants like, let's say $3 million and they can pay a private investigator $5,000 to do surveillance and prove that this person isn't really injured, it saves them a couple mil, right? So it's kind of one of those things. And that's a lot of the cases that I work is those fraud cases, like billions and billions and billions of dollars a year in just fraud alone, not to mention like real cases, right? So typical liability case. And my job is to be Paul Blart.
Observe and report.
So like, I really want a segue so bad, but I would fall off it. So, okay. So I'm doing this. This is a regular run of the mill surveillance. I go with my video camera. My job is to document what they're doing, not to determine if they're injured, not to determine if they're lying. That is not my job. My job is just to watch what they are doing, videotape it, document it, send it to my client, write a report, whatever. So I'm doing surveillance on this woman and this liability case, and it happens to be early on a Saturday morning, and she decides that she's going to leave early to go yard sailing, okay? She leaves her house early, and you have no idea where they're going. You're just like, oh, she's leaving. We got to go. And I know with 20 years of experience that you got to get to a case early so you can catch these people doing what they're doing. Saturday morning is a great, like weekends are a great surveillance time because there's no telling. Most people work 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. They leave the house average 7:20 a.m., whatever. Weekends are a great time. So that's your free time. We're going to see what she's really doing. So I get to her house early on a Saturday morning. She leaves and she pulls into a neighborhood that happens to have a bunch of like yard sale, community yard sale, whatever. So this is a day that this large community has decided that they are going to have a yard sale. So everyone in the community that has decided to participate is doing it at the same time.
That's so fun.
Yeah. So you basically have like all of these houses with their garage doors open and their driveways set up with tables and all of their knickknack, whatever, okay, that they're trying to sell. You guys know what a yard sale is, but in case you don't, that's what it is. It's like a garage sale. People just set their stuff out and people come over and they're like $70 and they're like, I'll give you 25 cents. And that's how it works.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And then, or they'll be like, I only have $3. Can you break 100? It's one of those. I hate yard sales.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so she's going yard sale to yard sale, and it's kind of difficult to do yard sales because when you're following someone, imagine like they stop often. The more often you're stopping behind them, the greater the chance they're going to see.
Yeah, they're going to be like, wow, we have the same taste in junk.
Exactly. But with a yard sale or garage sale, whatever, especially a community garage sale, there is so many people out and about that it's kind of easy to blend in, but you still want to kind of keep your distance, right? So I'm following this lady and she would, stop at a house. And once I realized that she was going to participate in this yard sale, I felt better because I was like, oh, I can hide easier and she's going to be going slow. So the chances I'm going to lose her are not very great. I could get out on foot and walk behind her if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So not super bad.
And you can buy a picture frame or something.
Right? I could go check out the yard sale and offer them 12 cents. So there's a bunch of cars coming and going, and there'll be like 7 or 8 cars parked on the curb. So my car is not going to be super noticeable with, among all these others and all these cars coming in and out. Anyways.
I am so excited that Prose sponsors this podcast because before I started using Prose hair products, I had such uncontrollable hair that I couldn't navigate how to handle it, especially as it changed. So if I changed where I was living, I would get suddenly so much greasier than it used to be. If I changed the styles that I wanted to do, I felt like I was just using toxic product and ripping my hair out of my head. not anymore, because Prose is customized hair care and skincare. So you don't have the same old results. And also you can update your formula as you make changes. So Prose has really transformed hair and skincare in that made to order model. You basically fill out a form online that addresses all of your concerns and customizes products for you, from shampoo, conditioner. I have a hydrating hair mask that I love. I've gotten their like hair gel, like a gel thing that was really good ingredients and didn't damage my hair, but I could use it when I wanted that like slick back bun situation. And I recently dyed my hair, no big deal. And it was my first time dyeing my hair. And I went on the account, changed my formula, and the same shampoo that was working so well was just like adjusted for my hair, and specifically even the color. And I've just really loved it. It's made my hair feel so much healthier, shinier, hydrated, and easy to manage. So I'm a big fan. I've also tried their skincare. Super, super good, especially if you're kind of sensitive and have trouble with more of the popular products. Like this will target what you want. And I'm telling you, the price point kind of blew my mind, especially the shampoo and conditioner. I was already paying for expensive products that weren't giving me exactly what I wanted. And this was less than that. I expected it to be way more for what it is. So with the Prose Promise, if you don't love your first order, it's also on Prose. So there's really never been a better time to switch to custom. Prose is so confident that you'll bring out your best hair and skin in 2025 that they're offering an exclusive trial offer of 50% off your first hair care subscription order at prose.com/TDD. So take your free consultation, get your one-of-a-kind formulas, and see the difference custom care can make with 50% off at prose.com/TDD.
You guys, I love that Delete Me sponsors the Dating Detectives podcast because as a private investigator, I personally know and fully understand the information that is available out there all willy-nilly floating around on the worldwide internet. So if you or someone you know have ever been the victim of identity theft or have been harassed or stalked, privacy really matters. And if you've ever wondered, if you've ever just been a little bit curious how much of your personal data is out there for anyone to see, it is so much more than you think. Your name, your contact information, home address, information about your family members. It's all being compiled by data brokers and it's sold online. And the data brokers, they make a profit off of your data. So your personal data is a commodity. So anyone on the web can buy your private details, which can lead to the identity theft and phishing attempts, harassment, unwanted spam calls even. Now you can protect your privacy with Delete Me. I am a private investigator, but I also exist publicly and I share my opinions online. I'm super hyper aware of safety, security, and that's why I personally recommend and use Delete Me. It's a subscription service that removes your personal info from hundreds of data brokers. And you basically just sign up, you provide Delete Me with exactly what information you want deleted. Their experts take it from there. Delete Me sends you regular personalized privacy reports showing what info they found, where they found it, and what they removed. Delete Me isn't just a one-time service. It's always working for you. So it's constantly monitoring, removing the personal information you don't want on the internet. To put it simply, Delete Me does all the hard work of wiping you and your family's personal information from the data broker websites. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now at a special discount for our listeners. Today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/datingdetectives and use promo code TDD at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/datingdetectives and enter code TDD at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/datingdetectives, code TDD. Thank you, Delete Me, for sponsoring our episode. So she's going yard sale to yard sale and she's picking up all this equipment. She's picking up workout equipment and books and anything you can imagine that was heavy, this lady was lifting. So I'm thinking this is a great day. It's not my job to determine if she's injured, but it doesn't take a rocket surgeon, right? So I'm thinking this is a great surveillance. I'm getting great video. My client is going to be really pleased. This is probably going to save them a crap ton of money, whatever. So I'm super excited about this. And she was out there a couple hours, but about an hour, hour and a half in, she gets to a point at the yard sale where there's a ton of people. Like the amount of people is growing because it's getting a little bit later in the morning where people are waking up. They're doing the yard sale thing. And it makes her way into a cul-de-sac. Well, by this time, it's kind of the same group of people that are following the same yard sale path, right? And so they're just following the road. Like it's just, not a lot of.
Yeah, it's like trick-or-treating.
Yeah, you get it. Exactly. Well, one thing I don't want to do is get stuck in a cul-de-sac or have somebody back me in or block me in.
Are you driving?
Yeah. So like she's getting in her, like she'll go look at a yard sale and she'll
she's
walk
driving
to one
from house
house
to house.
and then,
Okay,
yeah.
got
So
it.
she's driving from house to house too. So I'm following in my car. So she pulls into this cul-de-sac. Well, I decide I don't want to get blocked into this cul-de-sac. So I pull into the cul-de-sac, do a U-turn and come out of the cul-de-sac and park like where it bottlenecks into the cul-de-sac where there's all these other cars parked. I blended right in, no problem. She didn't see me. She's out here all willy-nilly lifting up the heavy things. I'm just videotaping. Well, when I pulled out of the cul-de-sac, I had my car parked facing away from her. So I was turned around in my driver's seat facing the back window so I could videotape her through the back window of my car.
And you have tinted windows, which you've said before, but just so you guys know.
Nobody can see what I'm doing inside. It's like double limo tent. It's really dark. No one can see anything. So there I was minding this lady's business, all like chilling like a villain and videotaping her. And next thing you know, scared the shit out of me. This lady comes beating on my window with the palm of her hand. Bang, bang, bang. Like,
ooh.
So I'm nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Is it
neighborhood watch? Like, Bertha?
So I didn't know who it was because I wasn't paying attention to that side of my car. I was facing out the back window. So whenever I'm looking out the back and I hear this, so I turn around real fast and I'm like, whoa, I'm scared to death. Well, I'm thinking, okay, this woman, maybe she thinks I'm someone else, or maybe she's just got a question for me. Like, there's a ton of people here. There's no way she suspects me of like.
She could be like, hey, you're blocking my car. Like,
something. I didn't know. And I was like, this is easy. Like, I know how to talk to people. So if she got something to say, then we'll talk about it. So I rolled down my window thinking she's old as Methuselah. She's like 100, give or take, is fine.
This reminds me of the episode about Bertha.
Oh yeah, the BMX boot thing episode.
Yeah, that was just Bertha is somebody who minds everybody's business.
She minds everybody's business. Well, This lady, she is a very, very old woman, so I wasn't super scared of her, and I was like, I'll just make up something real quick, right? So she bangs on the window and I roll down my window, like press the button, the window goes down. And as the window's going down, the further down it gets, her face is just making its way into my car. Like she is like craning her neck so that her face, like her whole head is floating inside my car. And this is all happening so fast. Well, I was startled and this happened so quickly. And her face is in my bubble and I take my hand and palm her right in the face like, get away from me. And I just like smack, but it was like, all you hear is like smack.
Wait, did you, I mean, I get it because she was like coming at you.
Yeah,
did you,
and it was
hit her in
like,
the forehead, the nose? Did you break something?
I didn't know that she was going to like put her whole ass face in my car. And so now she's in my bubble. And so my gut instinct is to push, like whatever.
Wax on, wax off, or whatever you gotta do.
I hit her just right so that the palm of my hand whacked her, like right in the nose. And I just kept, like, I didn't smack her and then pull my hand away. I just kept pushing. So now I smack her and follow through by pushing her face out of my car. I felt real bad too, because I was like, did I just abuse the elderly? I really did feel bad because I was like, I probably just, but it's a reaction. Like,
it's reflex, self-defense.
She's coming at me. She's appalled, like I have committed the greatest of crimes. And she's like, well, she could not believe that
she was fine.
Yeah, she was fine. I didn't break her nose or nothing, whatever.
She got into your car, basically. She was like trying to kiss you, like, girl.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you have to get out. Like, you are threatening my space. Well, I'm confused, right? Because now she just starts screaming at me and I'm like, I still have no idea why this lady is standing outside my car hollering at me. And I can't tell what she's saying. And she's she looks like Maxine from those cartoons, and she got the pajamas, the nightgown with the slippers and the cigarettes, and she's got the little dog or cat in the rocking chair, and she's got the blue hair and the big glasses.
That's so kind of like a ghost.
Yeah, kind of. Look, Google Maxine cartoon and you'll see it.
I'm doing it right now.
So this is legit. Hannah's younger, y'all. She might not know who Maxine is. It's fine. But when you see it, you'll know. You've never seen her?
Oh, I have not. And now I'm looking at her and I'm like, I love her.
Maxine is
what
legit.
A little diva.
Maxine is like grumpier old women. Anyway, so this is what this lady reminds me of, right?
Sure.
And so I don't know what's happening. She's just screaming nonsense at me. And then all I hear, like the world stops turning. There's dead silence. And all I hear is, you tell that motherfucker if I wanted a boyfriend, I would have one. Oh. And I'm like, wait, I'm sorry. What?
There's a story there.
Huh? What does that mean? So
okay, so she says that out of the blue?
Yeah, out of the blue. And I'm like, am I in the twilight? Like, am I working the wrong case? And I'm thinking, and then I had to think about like what I was doing. And I was like, wait a minute. Okay, calm down. What? Because everything happened so fast. Like all of that I just described took like, I don't know, 7 seconds. Okay. And so I like had to think, and I'm like, okay, wait. Okay. So hold on. I'm doing surveillance on this lady. I'm sorry. What? Like, I don't get it. And so I'm like closing my eyes and just like rubbing my temples. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, if you keep following me, I'm going to call the cops. Like, I mean, okay, call the cops. Like, what are you going to do? Like, the cops can't do anything to me. Like, I'm licensed to be, it's fine, whatever. And
you're not following her too. You're following.
I'm not following her. I have no idea, but I didn't know that's what she was saying at first. But I did notice that she's following along this yard sale path with me, with this lady. Right. So I'm like, okay, well, she's basically just saying like, if you keep following me. So then I was like, for sure, she thinks like she's noticed my car, which I don't know how out of all these bazillion people, but whatever. She notices my car and she thinks that I'm following her. Okay. And she says, you tell that MFer if I wanted a effing boyfriend, I would have one. First of all,
slay, but
good for you.
I guess.
She's old as dirt and she is out here doing the damn thing. Good for you.
Yeah, it's true.
She's rocking it. Okay, so, this lady, now I'm intrigued and I'm like, what in the goldfish cracker is going on? Like, I have no idea.
And is she drawing attention to herself? Are people?
Yeah, like, and then everybody's kind of looking, but there's so many people. Everybody's like, huh, what? I don't get it. And then everybody's like, kind of, okay, all right, I'll give you 25 cents or whatever.
That's one thing about being an elderly person, especially a woman. A lot of times people think they're invisible and write them off, which is pretty unfortunate because I wouldn't underestimate them.
I underestimated her because I rolled down my window thinking she ain't shit. Like, I ain't scared of her.
Yeah, and all of a sudden she's coming out like a snapping turtle. So she's screaming her head off about not following her, and you're starting to figure out what she's saying?
Yeah, so now I'm starting to, like, my brain is calming down from all the things that are happening, and I'm like, okay, she thinks that I'm following her, and I'm like, I just wanted to go to the yard sale. What do you mean? I don't understand. Right? And so I'm trying to
Did you actually cry? Did you make tears?
Yeah, of course I did.
You're amazing.
Juilliard. And so I'm like, what do you mean? Well, so conveniently enough, this lady happens to be dressed for a job. Okay. She works. And she happens to be wearing a uniform, kind of a uniform. But she happens to be wearing a name tag.
Wait, the old Maxine lady?
Yeah. So Maxine is wearing a name tag that says Maxine. Not really Maxine, but
we're going to call her Maxine.
We're going to call her Maxine. So she's wearing this name tag and I just happened to catch a glance of it. And I'm just like, she is just hollering at me. Well, my brain is trained to catch all the details. So no matter if I'm being screamed at or whatever's happening, I know, get the tag number, get the details, get the hair color, get the eye color, whatever. And so while all this is happening, I'm processing all of this. So she's hollering at me and I'm like, okay, that was wild. And then she starts to walk away. So I'm like, okay, she told me not to follow her. And hey, conveniently enough, I'm not following her. So it's fine.
Should be easy.
So she leaves and she goes about her day. And I'm like, okay, I won't follow her then. I get like, nobody paid me to follow, whatever. I mean, whatever, right? I'll make her feel better. She knows I'm not following her. So I continue to do surveillance on my lady, who is given this no attention whatsoever. My lady she's within earshot, but she hasn't said anything. Like she hasn't looked over nothing, right? Not that as far as I know. So I just go back to videotaping my lady. So the lady does her yard selling some more. She picks up equipment. She goes shopping. She spends hours till like 11 a.m., 12 noon to like yard selling. Okay. So she brings her treasures home. She's excited. She takes them all in the house. I think I've won. Okay. So Maxine, she yelled at me, but it's whatever. I still did surveillance on my lady. She didn't notice. I didn't get busted. It's a great surveillance. This lady's probably not going to get $11 bazillion because whatever. So I'm proud of myself. She gets home, unloads her stuff. I go home and get on the keyboard and I'm typing away at my report, just minding her business some more and sharing her business with my client and whatever. So then I'm like, what is going on with Maxine? And so now I'm concerned now that I don't have to be focused on homegirl anymore. I want to know what's going on with Maxine. So all of a sudden, this flood of memories comes back to me. And I'm like, Maxine, blue pants. And I start reliving, like remembering every detail about her. Mm-hmm. So I remember her name, the company. And so I'm like,
Google machine. Google machine. Yes.
And so I'm like, I wonder what her last name is. So I type in her first name and the name of the company. And of course, it was a little like, you had to play with it a little bit. And there's like a couple different places in the Tampa area. Anyways, I found her. Okay. Yep. So I find this lady and I'm like, this girl got some dirt. Like she's old as hell, but she's got some dirt and we gonna find it. So I'm like, listen, when you're a PI, like the more answers you get, the more questions you get. Right. And so you like when something like that happens, you're like, dum-de-dum, like, let me see.
Well, I also think, I'm curious, I know sometimes when you have a client that you would like to follow up with or like to know what happens after the fact, you can't do that.
Yeah, this person it's kind of unprofessional.
No, I don't think it is, because you could have easily just like met this person out in public and be like, oh, what the heck is her deal? You know what I mean? Like, you're not doing anything illegal. You're just on the Google machine.
To follow up with Maxine, like, I didn't do nothing wrong. Like, I just wanted to see, like,
you're researching.
I was researching. This is for research. And anyway. I was concerned for her safety. Like, what if she's in a dangerous situation and I could save her life? You never know.
True.
And I'm just a girl, okay?
You're just a girl who likes to snoop like we all do. And that's why we love all of you.
And we got to look out for one another. She could have been in real danger.
Gossip saves lives.
Gossip saves lives. You guys, I think you already know how I feel about Miracle Made, but I love that they sponsor our show because your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality, right? Well, my husband is a very hot, sweaty sleeper, and I'm very cold. It doesn't matter what time of year. And so if you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. We use them, and I love how they keep both of us at the perfect temperature. Listen, I'm not a science girl, but Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long, which is pretty rad. Traditional bed sheets can harbor more bacteria than a toilet seat, which can lead to acne, allergies, stuffy noses. It's just gross. And you guys know I'm all about some good skincare. So get some good sheets. Miracle Made offers a whole line of self-cleaning antibacterial bed sheets, pillowcases, comforters, and they prevent up to 99.7% of bacteria growth. They are super, super comfortable. They have a ton of colors, and they're actually, to be honest with you, without the high price tag of luxury brands, they feel as nice, if not nicer, than sheets used by some 5-star hotels. Upgrade your sleep this year. Take my word for it. Take my husband's sweaty, sleepy word for it. Go to trymiracle.com/TDD to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one or your husband, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo TDD at checkout, you'll get a free 3-piece towel set and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/TDD and use the code TDD to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/TDD to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode.
If you've been listening, you know that I'm a big Dipsy fan. It's a female-founded app for spicy audiobooks and so much more. I love that it's created by women for the female gaze, and they have something for everybody and anything you want. I'm talking like over 1,000 spicy audiobooks. They're made by a team of professional writers and top-tier narrators. I'm not kidding. They're not cringe. And you can really, look up anything you're into, like rugged cowboys. They have a sexy rendition of Pride and Prejudice. Truly, you'll find characters you'll love on Dipsy, no matter your orientation, your gender, how many people you want. I say no more. It's an easy to explore app. You can search for your favorite romance genres. They have historical, dark, sports, Western, romantasy, sapphic, more and more and more. And they release new chapters every week, so you'll always have something new. You won't get bored. I also just love they have a lot of wellness stuff. And here at the Dating Detectives, we really do believe that sexual wellness is part of wellness in general and confidence. And you have to know yourself to know everybody else in the world and bring your best self to the world. So Dipsy helps you do that. I love it. And right now, listeners of this show can get an extended 30-day free trial. Just go to dipsystories.com/TDD to start your free trial. That's DIPSEA stories.com/TDD for 30 days of full access for free. Visit dipsystories.com/TDD. Why wouldn't you? And if you have any that you listen to that you really liked, I don't know, like you can DM me and tell me and just give me a good recommendation. Okay, whatever. What did we find about Miss Maxine?
So anyways, I look Maxine up, right? I find her on the social media machine. And I also find her little husband. We're going to call him Magoo because he is this this fella cute as a button, just like the Magoo cartoon, and the rounded bulb nose and the cute little glasses, bald as can be. Cutest little thing you ever did see, right? So you got Maxine and she's
Magoo.
Like grumpy old men. And then you got Magoo, who's cute as a button. So I find them on social media. Okay. They are both like, y'all, I'm talking in their 80s. Okay. Like they are older, like much older. And you would think like a lot of people that age don't have social media.
Yeah,
and if
good
they
for them.
Yeah. And if they do, like, it's not like you just go there and it says, they played Candy Crush. So-and-so played Candy Crush. It doesn't show like anything crazy. I mean, now I guess it's a little bit more common. But anyways, I was beyond shocked to see any kind of activity on their social media.
What kind of stuff?
Well, so here's the fun part. So I go to her social media machine and his social media machine. And wouldn't you know it, both of their pages are totally public. Every single post, every single photo, like photos, 47 profile photos and 2,068 photos and videos. Like, and it's public. Don't mind if I do. So I helped myself, right? Because I'm like, what is going on with this lady? So she makes a post, okay? Like this is like the next day. She makes a post. And when I first looked her up that night, I was like, I could kind of see that I was like, she's got some stuff going on, like her and her man or whatever.
Wait, what do you mean by that? Like, are they still married? Are they posting together?
They're married. Like this is her husband. Okay. So the night I got home when I was looking her up, I had a long day of surveillance. So I kind of looked her up. I found her. I didn't mind too much about it. I kind of see that she makes posts or whatever, but didn't look too much into it. Mm-hmm. The next day I looked her up. And by that time she had posted about the fact that her no good ass husband has used their retirement funds to hire a private investigator to have her followed because
to see if she has a boyfriend.
Yeah, because he thinks that I have a boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. Well, he comments on her stuff and he's like, I didn't hire a private investigator. Meanwhile, you've got freaking 47 ladies from the YMCA Silver Sneakers Zumba class. And they're going, I can't believe you would do that at this. You've been together for so long. And I'm just making up voices. I don't know what they sound like, but I imagine.
That's exactly what they sound like.
And all of them are just, I almost said gangbanging. They are ganging up on these Silver Sneakers ladies are ganging up on Magoo, and they're telling him how horrible he is, and you don't need to hire a PI if you all these years that you've put in together, whatever, right? Well, then he makes a post on his social media machine and he talks about how Maxine has a boyfriend down at the Moose Lodge and she's been seeing him off and on for 10 years. And he knows it because he's caught them before, but she doesn't know that he's caught them. And they are just going on and on. So this starts this whole big saga.
This is public. They are airing this dirty laundry for everyone.
And their friends are chiming in. This is like middle school, okay? This is like...
It's better than middle school. I kind of love it. Just like we're getting everyone involved and everyone's going to know. You want to try me? Great.
Seriously.
Make a status.
Well, so then you've got their kids and their kids are posting.
No!
Their kids are in like their 60s. Like they've got families of their own, grandkids of their own, right? And they're saying, oh, here goes mom and dad again. Apparently, this is like a big thing that happens all the time. And so anyways, of course, I do a deep dive. Okay, now I'm looking at the 3 children that they have and their spouses and their children.
Tell me everything.
So one of the kids had recently gotten divorced, right? And they're in their late 50s. Had recently gotten divorced. And one of their posts said, when you don't have the best role models for parents on how a marriage should look, it's likely that your marriage won't work out too. And I was like, oh, that's sad. But then like, well, that tracks too, right?
I'm still hung up on him or them posting that. Like, this is the most dramatic family I've ever heard.
Know. And like older people, generally speaking, like don't even know how to work the social media machine, much less use it as like, you would think they were going through like a custody battle, the way they were like trying to cut each other down. And so then his friends come on and his military buddies, and they're like, don't you like say that? Like you should have respect. Like this is a veteran. You're saying
and the Magoo's.
Yeah, Magoo's war buddies are like, you should have respect for this veteran, and he's a stand-up guy. And on one of the posts, he was like, she keeps saying I hired a private investigator, but if I hired a private investigator, I wouldn't use my own money to do it. I'm almost dead. What am I gonna, like my kids are, I'm gonna leave the money to my kids. Why would I use... So meanwhile, she's going, but he did use our retirement to hire a PI. And I know how much PIs cost. By the way, a good PI is probably like $100 to $200 an hour. Okay. Just depending on what you need and what's happening and where they have to go, whatever. So like 100 to 200 is it's pretty decent, right? Maybe a little less depending on the situation, whatever. But anyway, so PIs we ain't cheap.
Right.
And so she's saying that he spent tens of thousands of dollars and she's going to divorce him and then she's going to sue him. She's going to be dead before she sees a courtroom. Like a judge ain't going there. What are you going to do? Like
they're going to be like, just unfriend each other on Facebook and that'll pretty much be the same thing, guys.
Why are they not? But at the same time, they live together.
They don't want to block each other. They love this.
And so they're commenting on each other's stuff from like the same house. Like they live in the same freaking house.
I'm imagining them sitting on the same couch with like iPads, just like, you know how you like text somebody across the room, just like, Maxine, I'm gonna get you this time. Oh, wait till you see the GIF I added. Well, like they're gonna be crazy.
And Magoo he's telling his friends like, thank you. Yeah, I'm a veteran. Like, I get it. Like, you want to be respectful. And the older veterans, they really want their respect, whatever. But he's going on about how she's a hussy. And because that's what older people say. They don't call him a hua or a sloot or whatever. They call him a hussy.
Respect goes both ways, people.
Okay. And she's a hussy for her Moose Lodge boyfriend, who, by the way, is much younger than her. And the Moose Lodge boyfriend is just waiting for her to die because he wants to try and take her money. He's going to try and get her to stash money for him. And so apparently this guy's in his 70s and much too young for her. And so he is for certain that her Moose Lodge boyfriend is going to take her. And when they go to the casino together, he's said,
I take her for everything.
I know they've gone to the casino together and she's given him all of her winnings. And he is just taking her for a ride. And that's what happens when you get with a younger dude. He calls him a dude. That's what happens when you get with a younger dude. So imagine
that's like the biggest insult.
87-year-old Magoo saying, don't get with a younger dude. And that's what he said. And he's talking about Maxine. Well, Maxine and her little friends, they're all friends on Facebook. So they're keyboard warrior in. And so the silver sneakers, by the way, is like Zumba in chairs for like older people that maybe their joints or they can't stand. So silver sneakers is like where you sit down in the chair and move your body, and that's how you get your aerobics.
Yeah, and you have like little weights.
Yeah,
they always have like little weights.
Yeah, you're getting your aerobics sitting down because as we get older, our bones and our joints start to hurt more, and so that's a great way to exercise. So it's called silver sneakers, right?
And to find a community of girls to have your back when you guys have a social media war.
And they were supportive. These were girls in their 90s and everything. They were girls. And they were saying, they were like, how dare he hire a private investigator? And why does he think that she has a boyfriend at the Moose Lodge? He's like, I've literally seen them. Like, but what am I going to do? But also, I would like to point out that she did post pictures on her social media and she was getting dressed for silver sneakers, but she wasn't wearing like, you know how older folks, they go to Belk or Belk Lindsay, or they go to the Bales outlet and they buy the pants with the matching top and they buy the loafers or even the New Balance, the white dad New Balances. And that's what we wear, whatever.
Sure.
This lady, she had on the nicest like Nikes and she was wearing like the leotards, like back in the 70s and 80s leotard.
Ooh, I have a theory. Okay, the silver sneakers theory is maybe they're not going to silver sneakers. And maybe all of these women have secret boyfriends that they go see when they say they're going to silver sneakers, and they get all dressed up and they go to see their boyfriends. And then when their husbands come say they have a boyfriend, they all gang up on him and they say, how could you? We were at the YMCA the whole time and we are just lovely little ladies.
It's like an alibi gang. That's what we call those, alibi gangs.
What?
This is your gang of alibis. He even said to one of his wartime buddy, whatever, one of the guy's wife or ex-wife had commented, and believe me, I did my research to find out who was who.
Okay.
But the ex-wife of one of the war buddies commented, and she called the guy out by name and said that her ex-husband. And she said, you did the same thing to me and blah, blah, blah. So now you've got all these different couples talking about how you hired a PI on me and and how dare Magoo hire a PI on Maxine, and what a horrible man would do that. Like after.
But also what a horrible woman would do that to a veteran. Like it's
right?
just going all over.
And they are just, and they're attacking. Well, this goes on for days and days.
When did it begin? Like when did they start this attack?
So the history of their social media is like she'll post one of the things was like she posted is it a GIF or like a meme or whatever, talking about when your husband's lazy and you can't give you what you want, and then this guy's really sexy or whatever. Just kind of like,
oh, that's not going to bode well in court. My lady.
She's basically saying, look at this young guy. He's really hot. And like when you wish your husband looked like this, or just something that was like, it was a little below the belt, right? But and then she tags him and he's like, that's not nice, Maxine.
She
and
tagged him?
Yeah. And she be like, this is you, Magoo. Ha 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 ha. LOL, BRB, BFF. Like she's like tagging and she thinks
Skibbity Riz.
toilet.
Ohio bussin'. Oh my gosh.
And so she thinks that she is hot bananas, right? Like she is just hot dogs and Skittles. She is so proud of herself and she just does the laughing emojis. Anyway, so their history of their social media is all stuff like that where like
little digs.
little digs. And her daughter had posted something about the granddaughter's baby shower. And so Maxine and Magoo's granddaughters, their great granddaughter's baby shower.
Wow.
And so Maxine had commented something and tagged him and said, Magoo, if we could go back, I would have never had babies with you. Like little digs, little jabs.
That's actually an insane thing to say.
But what do you do? They've been married for 500 years. Like, what are you going to do? Divorce me? Like, what do you start over? Like, we're 100.
Wow.
Like, do you know? So what do you do?
There is something so amazing about that kind of like filterless part of life.
Yes.
I feel like I've told you this story. I used to work at a production company and they would have auditions for commercials there. And there was one where they needed an old person. I think it was for like Tostitos. And
oh my God.
It was a bunch of old people auditioning and they were so funny in the lobby. They were like reading it and just being like, who wrote this? This isn't funny at all. This sucks. And I was like, every other actor in LA is like, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to read this beautiful script. And they're just like, ew, you don't deserve this job. And they're amazing. And I'm like, I kind of want to get to that point where I could just not give a shit.
No fucks given.
But maybe not this far. These guys are wild.
And so he is saying that he has seen her with this guy, but what's he going to do? Divorce her? Like, it's whatever. Do what
I'm
you
surprised he
do.
hasn't posted a pic.
I'm surprised. Like, but at the same time, they've got 3 kids together, like 19 grandchildren. Like, do you know what I mean? What are we going to do? We want to start over? You really going to date at 100? Like, what are you going to do? And so anyways,
I write a blog.
And they just go on and on. But then here's the kicker is that every holiday photo, they're holding each other, they're smiling, they're kissing. They have videos of them going to different events and the baby shower, all these different things where they're like together, they're holding hands. And this is Maxine and Magoo, who are basically like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, like kicking each other's ass and like nighttime at home. And then out in public, they're like BFFs. It's wild.
So even in these attacks, it would be like, you are an ugly old man and I wish I had a younger husband. And then it would be like Christmas card. And then,
yes, exactly.
You don't trust me and you're disrespectful, you hussy. And then baby shower. Like, that's just the cadence.
So then after she caught me following her, not following whatever, after she caught me not following her, ever since then, everything that they said in their transactions, like in their communications or whatever, she would say, well, at least I'm not insecure enough to hire a PI. And he's like, why would I hire a PI? I already know. And I'm not leaving because I'm a zillion years old. Where am I going to go? There's no point. Like, what are we going to stand in front of a judge who's 70 years younger than us, who's going to tell us, I mean, I guess split it down the middle. I don't know. What do you do? Like, we're already grandfathered in literally and figuratively. Like, what are you going to do?
That's funny.
What are you going to do?
With one.
So wild. And so their social media just goes on and on. And so for the next couple weeks, I just watched their social media and
grab the popcorn.
Little by little, it tapered off. And like, she stopped talking about the PI thing. And and now they're back to just regular, like normal stuff and regular jabs here and there. This was years and years ago.
What if you had, I know you would never have done this, but what if you had just jumped in and was just like, hey, so just want to add some evidence.
I just have so many questions.
I was the PI in question and I was not hired. So unfortunately, I have to take Magoo's side on this one.
Oh my God. I would have loved that so freaking
I mean, I feel like
much.
Maxine would have come to your house and been like, why are you were the lady that punched me in the face.
100%. And she would have used the word punch too. It was a very open fist. It was very open palm. Like, and I pushed her, but I came in contact pretty quick. But she did not deserve it. How crazy.
Well, also, whose side are you on? Based on the evidence on Facebook, who do you think is telling the truth? Well, obviously he didn't hire you.
Poor Magoo. I think Magoo is like, okay, to be a little bit more serious about this, Magoo's getting verbally abused 100% by her. And it's all, I don't see nothing where he's instigating anything. It's all her. He never starts anything. He's not afraid to like say something back or something quippy or whatever. or he'll like,
Well,
you
he
know,
married her. Of course he knew they have to be on some level.
but this is
similar.
100% verbally abusive. Like, unless they have some kind of agreement where like he likes this behavior or he likes this kind of I don't know. But Hannah, when I tell you, I was fit to be tied when this lady was screaming at me. And then I went on her social media and was like, she mean to every damn body, not just me.
A true bully to
She
post
really is.
some of the things you just described publicly or say them in private even.
But also I wonder, like, because as long as it goes back, which is just, I don't know, like 7 or 8 years, like, and then it just starts to fade off the social media. So they're still old at that point, right? I really wonder if maybe she has not dementia, but something where like old age has set in and she's losing her marbles a little bit, maybe, or maybe he is, or maybe
some kind of personality
something
disorder
has happened over age. Maybe, I don't know. It's just, just a guess, like something that's a possibility, I guess.
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder because I have friends that have family members with dementia and they can get a little mean. So I don't know any other diseases where you can get like mean or whatever, but I'm just saying there's a possibility that, as you age, maybe something like that happens. And it makes me wonder if that's the case here.
Well, my first instinct is like, well, seems like a lot of other people involved, her kids, these friends. If she or either of them have gotten to a point where they're not taken seriously, then it could make sense where people are just like, oh, there goes crazy grandma, type it on Facebook, her theories.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if does she also have a presence talking that way about other things like political events? Like some people on Facebook are just like,
all social.
It's all about him. She's not like
all silver sneakers and my girlfriends and my husband hired a piano.
My deadbeat husband.
But also when the one kid had gotten divorced and they said when you have a bad example of what a marriage should be, that makes me think it goes back a little further. So I wonder how far back does this verbal abuse, I'm going to say that lightly, loosely, because I don't know, how far does this bullying go back? You know
I bet they were at their wedding and during the vows, she was like, ugh, I guess. Like, she doesn't seem like she was ever a kind lady. If she came yelling at you, yelling at him, we don't know. I'm who knows? We could be way off.
But and also I want to point out that it's interesting that I was doing surveillance on a woman who had nobody knew I was there. Was nobody, not one single person gave me a sideways glance. Nobody noticed. Why did this one person and then I just kept playing it back in my head. Like, how did she notice that I was getting out of the car? I was walking at the yard sale. Like, I'm looking too, like I'm blending in.
She had her head on a swivel.
She did. She did
what you say to do. It was like, no one is going to mess with me on Facebook or otherwise. And
But it makes me wonder also if I don't know, maybe she was cheating and that's why she was super extra cautious. Because when you're doing something wrong, chances are you're looking behind your shoulder. You're looking over your shoulder.
Yes.
Right? When you're not doing anything wrong, you're not as vigilant.
To post about it and to get ahead of it and deny it sometimes is like, all right, nobody posted. You posted about it first. He didn't post about it. I want to know. I want to go through her following for all the young men.
This is not the first time that I've been on a surveillance where a whole nother story has come out of it. That's none of my damn business, but it's also my business.
It's my favorite thing in the world.
What do you do? Am I supposed to just not know? No. Are you supposed to say no?
Mackenzie, I would consider it a personal offense if you did not continue.
Thank you. That's what I
search.
said.
I needed to know about this. And also, I'm like so scared about their access to social media. What else are they going to air out? Like, I wouldn't be, if I was friends with someone like that, I wouldn't know what to tell them, but I would not unfriend them. Oh my God, I'd be refreshing that page every day.
But also it makes me wonder, I don't if this, just imagine if I had been following her and she was my subject.
Oh yeah. What would you have done?
What a huge liability that would have been. Like, if Magoo hires me to follow her and she approaches me, if someone approaches you, like they know that you're following them and they approach you at that time, the surveillance is done. You're done. That's it. Because if you continue on, that could be considered harassment. So the ethical thing to do and the safer thing to do is to 86 the surveillance. It's done. Like, not throw it all out, but stop right there. We're done with the surveillance, right?
Can you share if there's ever been a time where you've had to like respond to somebody who catches you? Like if you've been in a position where someone says, hey, you're following me, and you are, like, what do you say? Do you lie? Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. So
you said, no, like, I'm not ill.
And then you just leave. Okay.
And then,
so you're not like, you got me.
So, okay. Do you know how we use the term Darvo when it comes to dogfish?
Yes. Will you remind the people what that is?
Yeah. So Darvo is a term that we use to explain, like, it's a manipulative tactic, right? So the attacker or the perpetrator, they deny they did anything wrong. They attack and reverse the victim and offender. So they want to become the victim themselves. So I use a little bit of Darvo. If someone says, hey, are you following me? And they approach me, I'm like, oh my God, no, why would you think that, weirdo? You're so gross. Get away from me.
Like,
oh my God,
why
I'm
would
so
you
scared.
come up and say that to me?
Yeah, that is
gosh.
so weird. Do I look like I'm following you? Oh my God, please, you're scaring me. And you manipulate it. Like, you make yourself the victim. And that's obviously, it's like, it's not as scary as Darvo, like in real, for
You're
realsies,
licensed to do it, and it's for the greater good.
I just have to, like, I have to deny. So I'll be like, no, I wasn't. Weird.
Plus, your safety is so on the line if you get caught. Like, somebody could freak out at you.
Well,
lash
but
out
also,
at you.
if it's a guy and he's like, are you following me? I'll be like, I don't know. Did you want me to? And or like, I will flirt my ass off. Any guy. I do not care how old you are, I do not care. I mean, obviously adult age or whatever. But if you ask me, am I following you? I'm going to be like, I mean, I can be.
Is that a problem?
I can be if you want me to.
And then there's not a single
and then I'll pretend
like,
and then when he looks at me funny, I'll be like, oh, that was a pickup line, right? Oh my God, I'm so bad at this. I'm so sorry.
Oh my
and then
God.
just like be like, I thought
I'm just
you
so flustered because you're so handsome.
Yeah, no, exactly, 100%. But if it's a woman, she might be like, are you following me? And I'll be like, oh my gosh, were you just at Walmart and now we're at Target? Oh my gosh, you're following me? No way.
Wait, I've literally said that to people when like you walk the same direction. It's like, how are you following me? Like,
yeah. And it's the more you're like, so oftentimes, like, obviously it depends on the situation, like, but if I have to, I'll just be like, no, silly, come on. But it does happen, and you just gotta do what is right in the moment. Like, you gotta follow your gut in the moment. And sometimes it does require you to lie, but also if you say yes, like, that could endanger you. So you kind of gotta just.
No, you're like a badass secret agent, basically. Like, you're a super spy, and it's for the greater good, as I said. I mean, I'm glad that the case with the woman who you were supposed to be following seemed to be pretty easy.
That one was good.
And you got some entertainment out of it. I do hope that this couple maybe finds a more mature way to navigate their relationship.
They are dying in the next little while. Give them whatever the fuck they want to do.
Like, well, she's got to stop saying such horrible things to him and getting her girls. That was horrible. Also, to say that on the baby shower post, to be like, I wish I never had kids with you, is like actually a very layered insult, because it also implies that she wishes that like her kids didn't come, her grandkids.
But none of them replied awkwardly. Like, they were all like, oh gosh, Grandma, oh gosh, Aunt Maxine. Like, it was not new to any of them. They were like, oh, this tracks. That's Aunt Maxine.
That's her sense of humor.
Like, that's her Aunt Maxine.
How much money would you pay to get to go to their Thanksgiving dinner?
Oh my God, all of it. I would want to go, like, I would just want to sit in the middle, and you don't even have to feed me. And I just want to look back and forth like a tennis match. That's all I want to do.
Oh my, or just like say nothing until somehow you can just be like, well, they said this on Facebook, and then just walk away and see what happens.
Stir the pot and I know so many people like that who will just like say the thing and then walk away and then just watch it. And it's hilarious. It is so awful. Oh my gosh.
That was such good drama, girl. I need to know if anyone knows a Maxine or Magoo who's like a Facebook diary writer. Like, I want to know. So you've probably heard this concept of theory. I don't think it applies to like an influencer like yourself, because you're posting all the time. But if somebody's not somebody that posts all the time, and then they post something like really gushy and lovey about their relationship, sometimes people will be like, something's not going right.
Yep.
Rocky, which is definitely not always true, but I've heard that theory. But then this is kind of the opposite where they're just like, no, we're just going to be honest. I'm just going to tell you everything and more. In fact, I'll tell you things that I haven't even told the man sitting across the room from me. And I don't know. I just want to hear more drama of people that are airing out dirty laundry on social media that they probably should not post publicly.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but anytime someone's stuff is public on social media, like, I will go so deep down the damn rabbit hole. It is unreal. I am relentless. That's why people are like, how did you find them on Google? I didn't find them. I'm like, that's because you went to page 17. I went to page 794.
You had her workplace. I feel like you can go to LinkedIn, find the company, go through like page 9.
I wouldn't have been able to find her with her regular name and just like, but she had her first name and her workplace, and there was only a couple of places. So, I mean, you just a process of elimination. Where was she located and where's her tag? And then you start, and you could, I mean, it didn't take a rocket surgeon. It did take some effort, though. I spent way too much time trying to find her just to find out why she was yelling at me.
Wait, I have someone for you. Okay, so my friend has a crush on a girl who works Trader Joe's. Two things we need to find out. One, she's like, I don't know if she's gay, so I kind of need to find out that first of all.
That's not on a background report.
Well, you never know. If you find an Instagram, you'll probably be able to tell.
No, that's true.
And two, she's like, all I know is her first name and she works at Trader Joe's. So I did this. I went on LinkedIn. I was like, I'm going to find this girl. This is your future wife. We're going to do it. I didn't succeed. I couldn't find her. But maybe this was a couple months ago. It's probably past the point. But maybe. No, we shouldn't stalk her. It's stalking. But like, if my friend needs to go to Trader Joe's, there's nothing wrong with that.
And we would never do something like that because that is illegal investigation.
No, but I will say on my friend's behalf, they just have a hopeless crush. And I'm like, just talk to her when you're ringing up your freaking kombucha, girl. And she can't.
Wait, they know which one she works at?
Yeah. We'll talk about it.
Oh, yeah, we're going to need more.
We'll make love happen here.
We would love to hear any story. I need to hear if any of you guys have experienced this. Like, it is just, I want to know how.
Isn't the highest rate of STIs in Boca Raton in the old folks spot?
That's Ocala, Florida, y'all.
Congratulations.
Capital of the world here in great old Ocala, Florida. Those folks are 89 years old. They swinging left and right. And they're, boy, over there in the Ocala. If you know the Villages, you know what I'm talking about. Can I get an amen? Y'all know if y'all know the Villages.
There's a great documentary called, let me look this up because it's worth telling you guys. Because it's a documentary about it, but it's not like Some Kind of Heaven. It's not like a boring documentary. He like follows real people that are living in the Villages. And it's like one guy that like lives in a van, but he hooks up with different women to try to get to live with them. There's like all these characters, like one woman and her husband move in, and all of a sudden he just like starts doing a ton of psychedelic drugs. And she's like, he's never done drugs in his life. All of a sudden, he's like a drug addict. What do I do with this? And he's just like, I just want to like trip on the golf course, honey. Like, stop ruining my vibe. It is the craziest documentary. And it's so good. I think it's on Hulu. You guys go watch Some Kind of Heaven. It's very funny. And you'll be like, yep.
I cannot tell you how many surveillances I have done in the Villages. And if you know what the Villages is, then you know what I'm talking about. And you can be like, oh, girl, you got some stories in there. Because yes, I do, boo-boo.
And if you live in the Villages and you have tea, spill.
Spill it. Because you know, if you live in the Villages, you got some piping hot tea. I know it. Anyway, so make sure you share your stories with us too. If you need a platform or an ear or an outlet for your story, or you need the community, email us your story.
Investigate at thedatingdetectivespodcast.com. We just want to make sure we can hear as many different kinds of stories so that we can support many different types of people. And it's like been this was so good. I needed this story so bad. But to go back to Carrie and some of the past stories, it's like your support for them is really, really special.
We love you guys. And even though this was a funny story, kind of a sillier one, you always have to trust your femtuition.
Trust your femtuition. You said it already. Bye, guys.